at that cardistry. Fuck, man.
Oh shit! There goes Dan with his cardistry.
It's all blurring it.
Welcome back to another episode of the Dealing Seconds podcast with your Cards and Beards crew. I'm Chris.
And I'm Danny.
And I'm James.
Guys, I think we basically told people, hey, what we're going to talk about. But just to say it again, we're going to talk about tuck cases today. And, you know, what makes them special? What do we like about them in our own opinion? Things like that. Because you know what? It's tucks sell decks. You have a nice tuck. It looks really cool. People are going to want to buy it. You know what? I'm going to ask this one to you, James. Right now, we were thinking of doing like maybe a few different tucks. What's one deck of cards that you really like their tuck case?
Okay, so for my first one, it is going to be the ARW V1.
Wow.
This tuck for me reminds me of the analog VHS style. When I saw this tuck, I was like, holy shit, this is like game changing. I thought it was absolutely, because it's almost like it's minimal, but it's almost like not, just because like, I mean, I don't know, it's just so different. It reminds me of a VHS tape, like when it's over and it's blurring out and everything, like just from the like chosen font he used. So yeah, definitely for my first tuck, I'm gonna go with the ARW V1 because it just has this unique design where it's just very typographic.
And that's Luke Wadey, in case people out there don't know what that is.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I don't know.
If you've never heard of Luke Wadey, you guys are living under a rock.
Right. I like that choice, James. That's actually how I got introduced to Luke Wadey. Really, that was when I fell in love with him, and I've been balls out all in ever since. But yeah, that's a very nice tuck. I like that.
It definitely has a game changer. He does do minimalism to the right degree. Mm-hmm. Like he says who he is, what he wants to do. He's typographic. We all know his style, but it's like minimalism perfectly done, which is hard to do. Whether it's cards or even a tuck, it's so hard. And that tuck case is not embossed or anything. It's just glossy, right? If I'm mistaken, the whole thing is glossy.
Oh, but a fun fact on that, he did have a Dan and Dave collab where they redid the tuck and they made it die cut and embossed, which is, you know, still kind of very subtle on what exactly went on there. But yeah, I mean, that happened. So that's a little fun fact on that tuck as well.
I mean, I bet you Luke was like, you guys want to work with me? Okay, here.
Actually, it was the other way. I think they reached out to him about it.
Yeah, I think so. So.
This is pretty
but
crazy.
That's I mean, I have.
Yeah, it's a nice soft black matte tuck case with a very little hint of red and that die cut on the back.
Yep.
Which is so weird to have that die cut, of all things, to have that die cut on the back. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like,
but it works for some weird reason.
It
really does.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you have that die cut covering those arrows going that one direction. It's like perfectly done, and it's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I have that one as well. I mean, right now I have all of the arrow series except for a couple like white whales, as you want to call them, you know, a couple of those different arrows, but I think Luke did a great job with that one.
Oh yeah, great series. All right,
no,
so
for sure.
Chris, let's see what you got, man.
All right. So my first one that I want to talk about is, I mean, I showed it on my Instagram today. It's going to be the Parlor deck from the Gentleman Wake. So the funny thing, I was trying to figure out who made this tuck, because the cards are printed by Cardamundi. So I'm trying to figure out who printed the tuck. So I was like, wait, these were on Kickstarter. So I went to Kickstarter. I was like, all right, who printed the tuck? Believe it or not, the tuck printer is actually Oath Playing Cards, Lautrec. Lautrec printed these tucks, and he did them on like a navy blue, like card stock or stock paper, excuse me. It definitely has gold and blue metallics with embossing. And the crazy part is that he even did full embossing on the inside, full gold foil on the inside as well. I love this one. This one it just feels premium, you know, even though I know I'm going to get flack for this. I don't like Lautrec's cards, the card stock, not the designs, the stock itself, but his tucks are amazing.
Is it like a matte?
It's a matte card. it's a matte finish, but all the embossing, even the blue, is all foiled as well.
Ooh, nice.
So it's like a like different color blues with
Oh,
gold,
yeah.
all embossed, all foiled. I mean, he went all out on this one, and I really, really like this one. It just feels like, okay, you're paying a premium for a reason for this tuck, and I like it. I think. I think.
Yeah, I don't own any both or any gentleman wakes, but yeah. So, but they do look pretty. I do agree.
Oh
with
yeah,
that.
I have the reds and the blue. I don't have the black yet. The black is their limited edition one, and those
Right.
are the cards printed by Lautrec. So those I don't have yet. But I just thought this deck was pretty. This is actually the first one I picked out. I was like, all right, which one of my decks do I want to talk about? And that was actually, I think, Dan and I spoke about this before. It was like our criteria was like, I cannot pick a deck to talk about the tuck if I don't own it. I should own the deck.
Oh, yeah,
That's like
true.
one of the things. You have to own it. Because it's like, how are you going to speak about something if you don't own one?
Yeah, very true.
So that's just me. What about you, Dan? What's going to be your first one?
All right. Well, and these are in no particular order, but this is not only one of my favorite tucks, but probably one of my favorite decks of cards, period. Not for use, and you'll know why in just a second. The Legal Tender, the hologram, like the re-release you did last year with just the foil, the embossed, the slight embossed on this, but with the slight holographic shine on this tuck case is just, I don't know. There's just something about it from King's Wild that just, I don't know. It just, I look at it and I'm like, I love you.
Yeah, it looks incredible.
I don't know. It's and the cards are great, but just and then the whole on the inside, it's the American history photos and shit, and I don't know. It's I love it. I just think it's very premium. It's very, very sturdy. You ain't denting this thing unless you really chuck it at a wall, But,
does it feel like a tuck that like EPCC makes?
Yes,
you know how Expert,
yes.
Yeah, because Expert makes those really thick tuck case, almost like plasticky feel tuck cases.
And I'm going to assume, and I could be wrong, that this was an EPCC tuck, because it definitely does not feel like a Clove Street one to me. But I don't know.
Because Clove Street has that. It's a Clove Street press tuck case when it has like that slightly softer matte feel. Like
this is not soft. But it is. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. But no, this is hands down one of my favorite decks. God damn it, Chris, fingering decks in here. The cards themselves don't handle that great, but who gives a shit? This is a deck to just look at,
Yeah. I mean, like we were saying, the tucks sell cases. Like in anything, I mean, you go shopping and aesthetics sells. So if somebody takes the time to like it, that too, sex does sell. So if you make the time to make it look pretty, people are going to realize, oh wait, maybe I should buy it. Maybe I should try it. So that's, I think, a smart way people are doing right now.
Yeah. All right, James, what do you got next?
Okay, so for my second one, it is a contrast to my first one, which is Contraband from Theory 11.
I was waiting for you to talk about that one. And plus, you know what? I have a feeling, we couldn't have a talk about tucks without mentioning Theory 11.
I thought
there's no way in hell you can't talk about Theory 11.
Yeah, no way.
So for Contraband, what got me is, besides the millions of intricate details, is just that center Contraband font, where it's like a script. What do you call it? Like an old English script style.
Yeah.
And that is definitely what made this my favorite T11 deck. Mostly for the tuck. I can't say about the cards 100%, but the tuck design is like hands down my favorite out of the whole T11 amazing tuck series.
Mm-hmm.
But
it is difficult to pick just one Theory 11 tuck case. It is very difficult because their tuck game is super strong.
I was torn. I was actually torn. I'm like, that's the one thing you're getting with T11. They have amazing tuck cases that are full embossed, foiled, the whole nine, and still $10. And you're like, how the hell do they do it?
$10. Yep.
Yeah, and I'm like, do I pick the Avengers? Do I pick Mandalorian? Do I pick like contraband, like which I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna do any T11s because I have a feeling James might throw a T11 in there because
I'm surprised.
no,
No Harry Potter.
No, you know what? I love Harry Potter and I love the decks. I think they're amazing, but I wanted to leave them out. I wanted to, you know, I personally for my three that we're doing, I wanted to do something different. You know, not the T11s. I just wanted to change it up a little bit.
All right. Well, you know, I don't own contraband, to be honest with you. I've looked at it. I've held it at Target. I've just never pulled the trigger. There's no real reason, but it is a very, very good looking tuck though. 100%.
Oh, I mean, that's the one thing. You go to Target, you go to Walmart, you see T11 standing there, you're like, oh, these things are really pretty. And that's why they're selling, because they're making a little extra effort, make the tucks look really nice. People are going to be like, oh, snap, let me get those. You know, instead of using a regular bicycle deck, let me pick up the thing that's nice and shiny and pretty, and yay.
Now, if only the cards can match it 100% of the time, then game over.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
But maybe that's why they're able to keep the stuff at $10. Is
maybe
don't make the cards super pretty and foil and beautiful like the tuck is, because they got to keep the cost cut somewhere. I guess I don't know.
I mean, they could make nice cards. Their tucks look great. I mean, they did a good job with Grateful Dead.
Yes, they did.
They did a great job with the Grateful Dead deck. And honestly, yes, the Harry Potter decks, the back designs, the monocolor back design, but there's a lot of intricacies, but they could have changed it up a little bit, I think.
I think T11 should have just gold foiled every single deck they get.
Well, that gold artisan, man.
Yes.
Oh,
come on.
Yes. They should just gold foil everything from now on.
Yes, that gold artisan is amazing. It is amazing. All right. So I'm guessing Chris, it's my turn.
Yep.
So my second deck is actually going to be rather tame as compared to the first one. Is actually going to be the Anatomica deck.
Ooh.
By Curio Cards, aka Jamie.
Bacon. No.
Bacon and eggs, yeah. So I actually found that these actually were printed by Fresh Impressions, excuse me. They're out of Panama City Beach, Florida. It's actually really like a company I've never heard of. I actually looked them up. They actually do a lot of other different type of embossings, not just tuck cases. They'll do like letterheads and paper and other card stocks. I was like, oh, that's really interesting that Jamie went with them. But, you know, they're using the stock itself is a really soft red, like almost a velvety stock for the tuck. Has a little bit of embossing and does have a little bit of white and red foil accents, which is actually done really well. So it actually highlights it extremely well. It's not fully foiled. So, you know, you get those pops of white and red. And I think it was done. I just think it was a great thing. And just having the whole tuck case do a wraparound tuck case. So if you had 3 of them in a T case and a T carat case, you would just see a whole rib cage, which I don't have, unfortunately. I only have one deck of the Anatomica, but I love the tuck. And it's not crazy. It's not crazy embossed. It's just like that soft, subtle embossing.
Yeah, I don't own any. And I'm sorry, Jamie, if you're listening, but shoot me in the face whenever you see me. I do apologize.
That's what she said. That's what she said.
Oh my Lord!
You walk right into those. You're walking right into those, Dan.
Yeah. You're walking. But I mean, good news. What was the company again?
That was the company that made this is Fresh Impressions.
Fresh Impressions, right? Okay, yeah. I keep forgetting about them when I'm thinking about tucks. I know they do some tucks for people. So okay.
Yeah, and they do. I mean, they're known for like other stuff, not tuck cases,
right.
But cardstock in general. They're known for embossing and foiling cardstock. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, just thinking about what could I use them for.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be a little selfless selfless. I'm gonna do a plug here for myself. I'm gonna pick my sophomore year tuck case.
Damn you, Dan! That was my third one.
You're welcome. Now, why would I pick my own damn tuck case as one of my favorites? Well, because the blood, sweat, and tears that went into getting this goddamn thing made and finding the perfect way to illustrate a Trapper Keeper. For those who don't know, it is a Trapper Keeper style tuck, complete with Velcro.
Very nice.
Okay.
You know
it was print. What was that?
No, I finished. I'm gonna say something that's gonna be hilarious.
Okay. It is printed by they're called Calitho. They are located in Concord, California, which is where I work. And yeah, it would just like Fresh Impressions. They do a lot of embossing and printing and promotions. Like they print stuff for Capcom, like video game displays and things like that. They do a lot of work for wineries, putting together like influencer boxes is what they call them, you know, with a bunch of goodies in them. So a lot of back and forth, and I kind of let them run with it, told them my idea, and they came up with that awesome Velcro. So I just for that alone, just to sell that Trapper Keeper thing, and just what I think is unique, because I haven't seen anything like that before.
Oh, it's definitely a unique tuck case, and you chose a great idea. What I was gonna say is to really enhance the Trapper Keeper feeling. What could have been done, I mean, this is just going outlandish, is you know how every Trapper Keeper back in the day had that plastic like puff around it?
Yes.
Like that, doing that on a tuck case.
Yeah, then you're talking probably like $10 a tuck cost to get made. Yep. Okay, because I'll tell you right now, this sucker wasn't cheap. Okay. You know, so
there's only one knock. There's only one knock I have against that tuck case. Only one knock.
Put the cards back in.
When you put the cards back in, they get hung up on one side.
Well, other than that, you just got to learn how to put it in at the right angle, Chris.
I never have a problem with that, Dan.
Oh, is your girlfriend around? No, I'm just kidding.
She will listen to this stuff. She will be listening, though.
Oh, well, there you go. So there you go. And you know what? You can getting back on track. You can just sit here and just. I do it all day long. Oh, there's something about that sound.
Dan, that is your mating call, isn't it?
Oh,
there you go.
That is Dan's mating call right there. Well, before we get into round 3 of our tucks, you know, we haven't done our signature thing. We haven't done the deck check. We have to know what we've been using today. You know what? I'm gonna switch it up. Dan, what are you using?
I am going with the secret deck from Chamber of Wonder playing cards. I almost chose this as one of my favorite tucks. If we did 5, definitely would have put it on there. So I'm using the red one. I just love this goddamn deck.
Nice.
The Riffle Shuffle deck.
Yep.
And for me, I'm going with the Safety Back Bicycle. This is hands down one of my favorites.
Look at that thick border.
Vintage design one. I hate the tuck. If we had a like top 3 ugly tucks, this would have been on it.
Oh,
you know what? We will. You know what? We should do ugly tuck, ugly deck.
Oh, I already have mine picked out number 1, and it'll be 1, 2, and 3.
And it's not Fontaine.
And it's not Fontaine. Nice. But no, that's good. I love those classic thick white borders on decks like that. If it's
people don't
works and that works.
People don't do that anymore. It's white borders.
There's been a deck or two, but you don't see it very often.
No. I mean, what I'm using today is actually the Ape Card Company, the Cenozoic cards, playing cards by Ash Marlowe, printed by Hanson Chen. I think they're really sturdy. I love them. They don't smell anymore, thank God. They smelled like shit when I first got them, but they handle. I mean, honestly, I've been using this thing, and this thing still fans perfectly.
Nice.
I really like their decks. I really like it. And speaking of the tuck case, the tuck case, I just realized it's slightly embossed too. It's flat matte. It's flat matte, but the tuck case is a little bit embossed. I was like, oh shit. I didn't realize until I grabbed it. All right.
All right.
Cool. Now we're down to our final 3.
The last 3.
You know what? We might even have to throw some honorable mentions into this one.
Oh, yeah, we could do that just because I took one of yours.
Yes, for sure. Yes, asshole. Now I have to do one on to fly now. I'm kidding.
All right, what you got? What's your last one, man?
Okay, so my last one is, I guess you can say it's a T11 deck. It's hands down one of my favorites. It's the Aristocrats. And this one, it's interesting with this deck because there's 5 different colors of it. But every tuck except for the red and blue, which was released by Theory 11, can you guess what the difference is? It's embossed between all the other ones, right? So what a shocker. But this deck right here is kind of like a combination of my first 2 for this. It's a little bit more simple but elegant at the same time. It's very straightforward. I love the burgundy maroon. I've been like obsessing over this color recently. It's got the emblem. This was Russell playing card company, which USPCC ended up buying out, and then it has the signature aristocrat logo, which is what got me, and then the linen finish and script, which also got me because I love fonts. Fonts is like my thing. So yeah, this is my I guess out of the top three, I kind of ordered mine to which I like the most, and this is definitely one of my favorites right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I love that classic look, and I love decks that have the card back on the back, but like it doesn't take up the entire back. You know?
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, and those cards, I like those cards. Those cards are nice. They're very nice.
I actually don't own any of them.
You should at least get one at some point. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't own any of those.
They're one of those decks that everybody should have at least one and at least handle at some point in their life, I think.
Yep.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right. Since Dan inexplicably stole my number 3, but it was no particular order, I have to do off the fly to a third one. So I already have it. It was right here by me anyway. It was going to be an honorable mention, so I might as well put it in the top 3 now. It is actually the Shogun playing cards.
Okay.
By Neural. This tuck case was actually printed by Boshiro and Newton. They are awesome. They're out of Italy. But the cards, it's actually a softer stock, but the foiling is what got me. It's like a really beautiful blood red foiling on the front.
Oh yeah.
And then embossed on the back with a little bit of foil as well.
Yeah. Those were a recent release, right?
Yes, he did these via Kickstarter, and they recently released last, I think, beginning of February. If I'm mistaken, beginning of February, maybe late January. But also on the inner printing as well, all black with silver foil on the inside, full done. I thought it was a beautiful tuck case. This is going to be an honorable mention, but like I said, since Dan stole my number 3, have to throw this in the top now.
Sorry, I stole my deck from you.
I know. I had your deck in my hands.
That's what she said.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to jump right into my third here, and I'll tell you, this is probably I know I said Legal Tender is one of my favorites, but this is going to be my favorite tuck case. Period. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's in a series of 1 of 3, and I love all 3 of them. But I chose my favorite out of the 3. It's my favorite playing card. Period, and that is the Artisans from Theory 11.
Nice.
But I'm going with the black, and here's why. The gold, while it's nice and pretty and the cards are great, there's just a little too much gold on the tuck case. I think it doesn't. That ace on the front doesn't differ. It doesn't stand out. On the whites are my favorite of the 3, but there's just something about this black tuck
I think
case.
It's because I think because I have all 3. I think it's the ace pops on the black background. The white, it's a little muted, but then on that brown, the gold brown, it almost looks like it fades into the whole tuck, so it doesn't really pop. But that black just lets that gold pop.
Oh, I love it. It just get me that as an art print on my wall. That's how much I like that.
That thing is
that thing is decked out foiled.
It is, and and like I said, it's my favorite Theory 11 deck. It's one of my favorite decks, hands down. Any of the 3 colors, doesn't matter. I like them all.
So guys, we just went over a little bit of like our top 3, and we'll definitely probably throw some honorable mentions as we speak. But my question to you guys is like, what do you look for in a tuck case? Like what draws you into a tuck case? Because as we see, we all 3 of us have different styles, different things that we like. What makes you gravitate to something more so than the other?
I guess for me, I'd say like the aristocrat deck that I just showed. The fact that the tuck isn't so heavy where I can beat the shit out of it, and like it still looks good in the end, but you know what I mean? It's almost like it's meant to be used, but still have a certain look to it. That's definitely what I gravitate towards. I love 311 decks, but I feel they look better on display versus carrying around, So that's personally, that's what I look for in tucks.
Okay. Yeah, I want something that's almost unique looking, that like pops, but like the artisan, like that gold spade just pops out, and yeah, you would look great on display. but there's something about this Theory 11 tuck that, I mean, this one's kind of beat up. My white one is beat the hell up, but it's still, I feel proud still carrying it around, even though it's missing flaps and it's got rips and holes in it everywhere. Yeah, like that. But I like a lot. I like to display a lot of things too. So it's, like I love the orbit decks when they're, especially when you have them all lined up together or something like that. Just seeing that universal O, that it just has a certain classiness to it. I think like the black roses, that simple rose.
Oh yeah.
So simplicity, but yet I want it to stand out too sometimes.
No, for sure. And people listening, if you don't know, Dan has like every single orbit and every single black roses ever printed, so he can say how it looks 100%. Oh, yeah. He knows. He's the man when it comes to those two by itself. For me, I hear both of you guys. I'm like, I like a little bit of like the simplicity. I like a little bit of like the embossing and things like that. The ones that catch my eye, of course, are the ones that have a little bit of foil, not overly foiled. Like I'd rather have like the Shogun I just showed. Like I like that little pop of foil that it gives, like attracts my eye, but doesn't say, hey, this is all I'm going to give you. Because sometimes like with T11, it could be too much. And next thing you know, it's like it's distracting from what is actually trying to show on it. Hence the reason why I didn't pick the Harry Potter deck, because it can be a little bit too much. You know, if you lean it,
kind of like their High Victorian.
Yes.
Oh
yes.
Yeah.
Oh
definitely.
God.
Very, very busy.
Yeah.
Very busy. Very busy. But then again, it's like also like with tuck cases, I like a durable tuck. Like we were saying earlier, Dan, when you brought out the King's Wild, if it was done by expert, it's a thicker, almost like a plasticky feel. Mm-hmm. So you could throw that in your pocket, you could throw it in your bag. That tuck case, you could basically use it all day long. You use those cards all day long, and that tuck case is not going to get destroyed. You know, that's one thing, because we all carry DS. We always put our cards in like DS1 sleeves nowadays, or a card carrying case if you have them. But something's to be said about like that expert stock. Like you can just throw it in your pocket. That thing is not going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
Because I did that. I mean, I carried that sucker when I first got the Jet Setters done by expert. I was carrying that around for like a good week in my pocket without a DS1, and it still looks brand new.
DS1 shout out Carrot Case Creations.
Yeah. Yes.
Revolutionized the playing card world. 100% with those sleeves, man.
Oh my God, that thing. Oh my God, those are saviors. I mean, talk about tuck cases. That's a savior for a tuck case.
Yeah.
So guys, now that we spoke about a couple of different, playing card tucks and things like that, I think we all have a little bit of honorable mentions, because Dan, you said you had like 5 you would have picked out right off the bat.
Yeah.
We all own like probably over 100 decks of cards. Dan probably owns more than both of us, James, combined. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just give you a couple in no real order. Obviously the secrets deck that we mentioned earlier, the butterfly decks, just the simplistic matte, like the black one with either like the gold butterfly or the silver foil, like that with just that strip on the bottom, just so simplistic. But yet there's just something about looking at that going, damn, that's a good looking tuck. But it's so plain, and I don't understand. But it just something to me, I'm like, wow, I love that.
Makes sense. I mean,
oh yeah, go ahead.
He did a great job with that. I mean, it's simple, it's easy, you know what you're getting. Andre did a great thing with that.
Yeah, and then like the Maker's Private Reserve, the red one from Art of Play. With the red and then the gold foil, but then it's all foiled on the inside too. That's really awesome. As a set, I have two more. 2 as a set. The first playing cards from Chris Ramsey, the 1, 2, 3, and then the hollow on a row, sitting in a carrot case with just that strip of, that strip line with just the first. When you look at it together, standing next to each other, just looks very display worthy.
Nice.
Say what you will about the cards, I don't much care for them, but the tuck case is just so simple, except for V3, which is stupid. Just looks so elegant and nice to me, except for the fucking trees, but whatever. and then just a personal, personal note, I would like to say the standards from Art of Play. I have all 6, but in a 3x2 little carrot case, and they pop in my display. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, they all sound great. Honestly, I don't have any of the makers, so I can't comment on those.
Mhm.
The only ones I used to have the V3s, the ones with the palm trees that you hate, Dan, but I gave those away because I really don't need them. I have the V4s, and that's all I have. I don't have any of the other first cards. Just not my style, personally. I was just like,
Right.
you know, don't get me wrong, Chris Ramsey got me into cards, but at the same time, I'm just like, you know, I'm just about the cards.
I will hand it this to him. He doesn't come out with 8 decks a year.
No, he doesn't. He'll do maybe
he could. And he could if he wanted to.
Yeah, he 100% could easily. He 100%.
And I don't knock him for the original V4s before he changed it. The black and white with the $10 cards, the worker decks. I call them the first worker decks. They are great worker decks to just beat the shit out of. And they're still they're what $10? I mean,
like $10-12.
Fine with me.
Yeah, makes sense. What
about you, James? James, no, I don't want to hear from you, Chris. I want to hear from James.
Okay, for me,
I'm always
definitely premium casino bees.
I was waiting for a B deck from you. I was waiting for I'm like, really, James? You're like the casino man.
Yeah, these are definitely, I say honorable mention just because I have so many of them, kind of tired of looking at them. But yeah, these definitely are one of my favorites just because they replaced the white on the B deck with gold. Like it's a little, like, I don't know, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it. That one. And then I have the other premium casino, the more harder to get ones. Shout out to Mike, 8 High Studios for this.
Mike.
And then
we should get him on the podcast, guys.
Yeah, we really should.
Yes, we really should.
Definitely.
Mike, if you listen to this, let us know if you want to be on our podcast.
For sure. And then another one, Tough Lucks.
Good choice.
Definitely a favorite. And then this one I just showed as a standard. I have the foiled one or embossed.
The foiled, yeah. The LTD.
Yes.
Yes.
So good. All right. What else? We're rapid firing this. Tally hose. I like those. Right. Who doesn't like tally hose? I like these in white. Great.
Love me a good hoe.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more for me would be the bicycle Shadow Masters. This is probably my favorite style of bike just because it looks like a black metal band made it, very gothic, very my style.
So your style, James.
So you, yes.
Yeah.
So you.
But yeah, those are for my honorable mentions. How about you, Chris?
For me, rapid fire, I'm gonna mention the remedies.
Yeah.
Just because I know, but the tuck case just feels like cardstock, so it just has that.
What color? What color?
I go with the green. I like the green. I just think that
black would be dope. Hint, hint.
Well, they're probably coming out with a hot pink. Hint, hint. I hope not, but they might. I'm just like, but okay. That I would also say as an honorable mention, I will go with actually the Arrow V2 Limited. The 2.1, not the limited, but the 2.1. That's one because it has the embossing in it. No foil, but just embossed and everything. So I like that
That's my favorite Luke Wadey tuck case.
This one?
Yeah.
Not this one from Arrow, which is I'm holding up the limited version.
No, I like the limited version's cards better.
Yeah,
but there's just something about that special tuck.
Yeah, it just has the embossing of the arrow, and I just love this one. I think this one's a good honorable mention. I would also have to probably put out rapid fire. The Third Way Industry Conquerors deck. So the Conquerors deck from Third Way is actually, it has like a velvet touch. It's a thicker stock. It actually feels like velvet. The cards themselves are fully red foiled. It's insane. They literally blind my eyes. But the tuck case just has this like texture to it, which is insane.
Nice.
Which I'm really excited about. those will have to be my top mentions,
Okay.
honestly. And then because yeah, those will be my top mentions. But earlier you were saying, Dan, about your standards with Art of Play with Kevin Cantrell.
Yeah.
Guess who he's now working with?
Who?
He's gonna be collabing with the Gentleman Wake. His
On
next
his-
deck.
on his
his
next
next-
on his Kickstarter in May, right?
Yep, his next Kickstarter is gonna be with Kevin Cantrell, which I'm shocked. I'm shocked on that one.
Okay. Again, not a gentleman. I like the guy, but I'm just not into his cards.
Omar is super cool. His cards are really great.
His
They're
reviews used to be so dope. I
Oh,
love
dude.
the seriousness to him. I loved it.
I mean, wasn't he an editor also, like a film editor?
Sure.
Or he is a film editor, I think. I don't know.
I don't know.
Omar, if you're listening to this, I apologize for butchering
Yeah.
everything that you said. No sponsorship from him then. God damn it, Chris. Um,
All right.
it happens. It happens. But yeah, honestly, I think Kickstarter is interesting because there's so many different things that you could do on Kickstarter, and the fact that you're able to tell people who you're using, like what I did earlier, what you did, Dan, like we can go to Kickstarter, see who printed these TUCKS, not just the cards, but the TUCKS. So it gives us another little like, hey, let's see who else is doing other type of things.
Yeah, well, with Kickstarter, you got to be a little more transparent with,
Yes.
you know, if you want my money, you better tell me who's printing them, where you're printing the TUCKS, and all that. I want to know it all, because the more I know, the more I'm probably going to give you my money.
And what's your credit score? That's important.
Oh, you don't want to know my credit score. If Kickstarter knew my credit score, I would not own any cards.
Credit score, birthday, blood type, firstborn baby, social security.
Are
the
you
whole
registered
nine.
for the army? Yep. The
Yeah.
whole 9 yards.
You want everything. You want to know everything.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know, speaking of Kickstarter, like now's the time. What is it? We're hitting March tomorrow. Now Kickstarter is going to start ramping up. Everybody kind of took a break from the holidays, and Gentleman Wake's got one coming up. Our homie Yuma's got one coming up. Can't wait for my prototypes. Get those in my hand. Play with a little Yuma. You know what I mean? We got the low poly Sharks V2, which
Coming out
you
in
know.
March.
I talked to side note here. I talked to Corwin, one of the guys at Unrivaled playing cards, the other day, and he let it drop on my Instagram live that there will be a second deck.
Really?
Yep, it'll be a stretch goal. It'll be an NPC printed deck, and it'll be kind of like what Luke Wadey would do with his limited editions. And he will, and what I did with my Alhambra deck, it will be he'll print however many people get. So everybody will get a chance to get it, which is the best part. So if only 5 people get it, he'll make 5. But if like 300 people get it, he'll make 300. So
wow.
he went to, and he told me what it was. And boys, it sounds great. It's basically the concept art from the V1.
Oh, wow.
Very nice.
That means now my wallet's going to hate me at the end of this month, this upcoming month. And then
so that'll be a stretch goal. So once the campaign funds, that unlocks.
That's awesome.
Very nice.
And I think their goal's 7,000 while we're talking about it. So yeah,
that's not
I'm
bad
looking
at
forward
all.
to that. No, not at all.
Yeah.
Then
I mean,
you know, I think there's another Kickstarter coming out.
I was about to say that. I'm like, we were talking about Kickstarter. I'm like, there is something else that's hitting Kickstarter very soon in the next couple of months.
Yeah, and it was designed by this guy. James guy.
Yeah, I don't know what his name is. I mean, he's from Texas. I mean, you know, rotting something hands. You know.
Yeah.
He designed something. You know.
So just, you know, we've been teasing it, but we can let the cat out of the bag that Cards and Beards is coming out with a deck on Kickstarter May 1st.
Yeah. Set your alarm, set your clocks, May 1st. If you want any more information, guys, follow us on Instagram. That's actually the best way to figure out anything that's about to happen. Follow us on Instagram at Cards and Beards. You'll get all the info up to date. We will basically start blasting on there images of the deck, things of that nature. You know, we're going to tease it more and more. But come May, we're definitely hitting Kickstarter. We're going to have some fun with this, guys. I think it's gonna be a fun campaign for us.
Oh yeah, it's the first one.
You know, it's our virgin campaign. We got to pop the cherry somehow.
Oh yeah.
Yes, yes, we do. I love popping cherries. Wait a minute.
Cherry Casino.
I mean, James has over 300 right now in his room.
In his walls.
On
In
his
the
walls.
walls.
In the
In
wall.
the walls, yeah.
Popping cherries left and right, you know?
But yes, yeah. So Cards and Beers Casino, May
There you
1st.
go.
Yes. Cards and Beers Casino. It's gonna be a fun, interesting game changer, I think, as far as a deck of cards. Just because it's like, hey, we want to show who we are. We're for the people. So just remember that, guys. We are for the community. So it's gonna be a fun deck.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Guys, I think that was a fun little talk about tuck cases. And I think we have a little topic we might have to talk about next time. Already
Worst.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting.
I really think that that's going to be an easier lineup to pick out versus which is our favorite.
I've already got like 5 right now. I can go get them right now. I'm ready to go.
Oh damn!
But see, what the best part is, I get to talk about the deck I hate the most in the entire world because I have it and I can't. It's the worst tuck case. It's the worst cards. It's fucking terrible and I hate it. I cannot wait. And it is not Fontaine.
Wow,
Nice.
I'm actually want to know what this is now.
Cliffhanger.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
Oh God! Stay tuned on the next episode of Dealing Seconds Podcast.
What does Daniel's son hate more than Fontaine? No.
There goes our sponsorship for Fontaine.
Oh, I mean, I'll still take the sponsorship. I have a couple of your decks. What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Zach.
Yes. You know, too bad I wasn't going to Cardistry Con. I could have met him in person and have him sign a deck and just make all the fanboys that couldn't go. Hey, look, I don't like this guy, but I got his autograph. What do you think?
Oh, but Cardistry Con. Oh man, I wish I could go.
Yeah, you know it
Definitely.
it's just a hop, skip, and a jump down the freeway, but I can't drop the dimes right now, unfortunately.
Same. I can't drop it either. I'm like, I wanted to go this year because it's in California, and I'm like, oh, it's here. It's not in Europe. But I'm like,
I saw, speaking of Fontaine, that Zach is teasing his biggest collab ever that he's dropping at Cardistry Con.
Yeah.
Anybody else just think it's art to play?
Is it the Spy Kids thing?
It has to be art of play because if you look at the actual teaser for Cardistry Con, Art of Play and Fontaine are the same size for sponsors. Everybody else is smaller, so it probably is AOP.
Well, I don't know if you know, but remember last time at Cardistry Con, he dropped those futures, the Fontaine futures, and that I love those. I loved it. I thought it was so different, and so what does he follow that up with? He's got to, why not work with the Godfathers of Cardistry?
Makes sense. I mean, they are Cardistry.
Technically, he did work with them, right? I think the McCormick deck.
I mean, like a straight on Dan and Dave and Zach collab.
Yeah.
Smoke and Mirrors.
Maybe not even that. Maybe they just do something completely different. I mean, who the hell knows? Yeah, maybe it's a Smoke and Mirror Fontaine. That would probably, a lot of fanboys would just lose their fucking shit if they came out with Smoke and Mirror's Fontaine.
Lose their shit. They're gonna basically be jizzing in their pants the minute they hear that.
All I want personally out of Cardistry Con is I know Orbit's going to drop another deck, and I want that. That's all I want out of it. Because they did the reprint of the V1 at the Cardistry Con a couple years ago, and
2019, right? We did that in 2019.
Yeah, so give me. I know you're dropping one, Chris. Not you, Chris. The better Chris. Orbit Brown.
I dropped one in the toilet earlier.
I just wonder if it's going to be a reprint of the V2. Keep on that line.
I hope not.
I kind of hope so for 2 reasons. One, it's a red deck, and I wouldn't mind a red Orbit deck. 2, that's the rarest Orbit deck you can get. And if you get one, no way in hell anybody's opening it. So I would like a usable, brand new, updated version of it.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't have that many Orbits myself. I like Chris. I like his decks. I don't collect them like that. Like I only have a 7, 8, 8P, and the Aesop Rock. Those are the only ones I have.
I love the Aesop Rock.
They're so nice.
They handle so beautifully.
They're a beautiful deck of cards. I like
Yeah.
it. I like
Yeah,
it a lot.
I love Orbit. It's no secret. You know,
No, it's not. It's not.
Chris is a fucking. I met him at the Orbit Jam for the release of the sevens, and you'll never meet a nicest fucking guy. He talked to every single person there and answered every question, and he looked like he enjoyed every second of it. He was not annoyed at all.
That says a lot about him.
Yeah, I think it does. You know, and he performed his moves on demand and no problem. So I love Chris, and he's such a fucking awesome guy in the community.
He is. So. Definitely one of those good, like, positive people.
Yes, but just give me a Carter Con V2 Orbit, and then I give a shit about the rest.
And did I hear right that V2s really didn't handle that well, from what I've heard?
I would never know. I have one. I'll never open it. But yeah, I mean, I would think so, because I think the only 25 or 2,500 were printed, and then most of them were destroyed and lost. That's why it's that's why it's the rarest one, because I think somewhere along transit a bunch of them got destroyed.
Wow. Oh no.
So, but I mean, this was before he was doing the web press and stuff, before he blew up. So
yeah. Now the question for you, Dan, if you went to CarterCon and Chris was there, would you, now hypothetically speaking, because of course you have a charlatan, would you unsello, have him sign, and then resello all the decks?
Yeah. So my plan is for when he does the Orbit Jam again, because I only live 45 minutes from where he's at. So if he hosts it in San Jose again, I was going to take every single deck I have in that giant carrot case, open them all up, have him sign, and then resello everything and put that on display, because it's only for me. I'm never selling my Orbits.
Nice.
And I just think it would be cool to have him sign all, probably 10 at that point of the main editions, and then just, and resell them. Who cares? They're for me. Yeah. And not Sean, not everybody else, just Chris.
Makes sense.
Because there's no way in hell I'd get Daniel Snyder's signature. I'm not mailing that shit halfway across the world. So
it's not that expensive to mail stuff over there.
Yeah, but I don't trust it in the mail.
True. United States Post Office.
Yeah, customs.
Yeah, especially customs going there.
Yeah, exactly.
Coming
US people don't give a shit. Like, oh, come on in.
No, in the US, I actually heard from people, like, when some people have sent stuff through customs, they actually will put a note. I think it was from John, CNC Deck Creations. He actually would put a note in the box saying, please do not cut open very rare deck. Can you please x-ray this instead? And we'll actually try this for customs to be like, hey, so that way, if it was a rare deck that he's sending someone, it doesn't destroy the deck. You know, so he'll put a note.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah. I heard him say that one time. I was like, that is actually really smart, especially for people who live in Europe, because the customs, they open the cases all the time. You know, they'll go through shit. And I'm like, oh, come on. You know, well, beautiful tuck. Imagine having a beautiful tuck case, fully foiled, perfectly embossed. Everything is gorgeous, and all of a sudden, customs just slid it right open.
Like if you ordered the Parlor, what's the green one, the Dynasty or whatever?
Oh, the Dynasty, the Prism one, the one that's like $300.
Could you imagine getting that all ripped up? Oh,
you're like, motherfuck.
I'd quit cards. If I spent $300 on a deck and it came like that through customs, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm done.
Yeah, I would just be, I'm done with this shit. Same. Save myself a ton of money then.
You just do something else, I'm sure.
Spend it on other hookers. I know.
Whoa, hey.
Hey, James has 300. I only have 200. So
yeah, but you're the only one fingering a deck right now. That's how Chris Farrow's decks. He puts his fingers in between them and just goes to town.
Just literally just like mash them together. That's how I feel. Yeah, I don't care. I don't care.
All right. Well, hey, great episode, everybody.
Yeah, that was a good one.
And on that note, we end with a high note. You know, I'm kidding.
Well, it depends on where you put that finger.
Yeah. Sounds like a lot.
I washed it first.
Yeah.
That's after, not before.
Oh, Jesus.
It's getting late. This conversation is going into the southern part. Get it? Southern. I'm kidding. Okay.
Oh man.
Bloopers are a great thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Guys, this was a great chat. Like Dan said, we'll come back at you guys. Don't worry. Next episode will be very soon. As you guys know, we already hinted at it. We're going to be talking about our worst cards, tucks and all. That's going to definitely be. We have to. We cannot do our favorites. We have to follow it up with our least favorites, the worst.
Yes, of course. And then we can talk about our favorite creators and the people we hate. No, I'm just kidding. I love everybody, even if I hate you.
That's true. I might hate your cards, but I think you're a nice person.
There you
go. All right, guys. We'll catch everybody on the next episode.
All right. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out, everybody.